Hey guys, Tony here. Getting ready to tell you about or talk about the razor. This is the Triumph. It's about 6 inches wide. I like to buy this. This is my tool of choice when it comes to razor scrapers. Um, just to show you, now there's a way to use this and a way not to, as far as when you place it on the glass. If you notice right here, it's a large circle, and on the other side it's a smaller circle. Nobody told me this, but I figured it out. This large circle should be facing you when you're scraping the glass. So if I'm up there, this large circle, you're on here like this at a 45 going up and down. This side here, you can do it, but it must be bowed. Somehow this is made to where it's bowed. So when you put this on the glass, it straightens out and it stays on the glass. It has no pressure when this is facing you. When the small side is facing you, you tend to get more grab on the edges, and I'm afraid it's going to scratch the glass. So you have to have this pointed towards you. Comes with a two-sided blade. So how I do this out in the field, this is a really old squeegee or scraper. I've been probably using this for a few years, a couple years anyway. This comes out, this little slide, and it has little grooves on it to put your razor. So you have 3 circles. Those go in those right there. So you set that in there. When you first get a brand new razor, what I like to do is, see the writing on there, the Triumph? Put that facing you, facing up, and then put that in. This comes with the 2 sides, two razor blade sides, one on the top and one on the top and one on the bottom. So when I'm done, after you have it this way, what I do is turn it, just flip it, and then put it on that way. So you'll notice the letters are down, and then this is facing you. That way, the next time you go to clean, or becomes dull or damaged, you will know what you've done. So I've already used this side because it was in there just now. I've already used the one side, and now the blank side is, if you notice, we'll take it out this way. The blank side is up. So next time I go in here, I'll have to grab a brand new razor. You want to keep it clean. So when you replace that, make sure, what I do is take my steel wool, and I'll go, there's little grooves in here. You have to, I don't know if you can see it, getting all backwards, but you'll clean all that out of there, because if it changes the angle of that blade or bends that blade any, then it'll get on that glass and scratch it. Get kind of nervous with my guys that use this in the past, because you can scratch windows. I had a guy scratch a whole job one time. It was awful and stressed me out for a long time. So you got to learn how to use this without scratching glass. Now, I think I've seen, I've never been to the International Window Cleaning Association, but I think they have seminars on it. And I read an article one time why glass scratches, especially brand new glass. From what I understand, there are pits in the glass making process that there's fibers and stuff that are baked onto the glass, which when you use it, it just scratches, and it's basically untempered glass. I don't know if this is true or not, and anybody that knows about this can let me know, but from my memory, which is a terrible memory, when they are making the glass, it's usually like this, and they cut the glass, and then the fibers from all that cutting gets on both sides of the glass. When they clean it, they just basically clean the top and then the bottom isn't clean. Now, I'm not saying all window manufacturers do this, but when the fibers are baked on that one side, then they install it and you put a razor on there like this and it scratches the hell out of the glass. So how I avoid scratching glass, and it stinks, especially if there's a ton of glass that this happens to on a job site, because then you'll have to revert to your steel wool and magic eraser, a lot of elbow grease, and this thing is a time saver. But when you get on that, that's why it's really important to go check that job out, especially those construction cleaning jobs, and go to each glass and see if it's going to scratch. And how I do it is I put a little water on there and I barely go up and down, and you'll hear it. It's like sandpaper. It's like putting sand on the glass and just rubbing something on it, and you'll like that. That was kind of funny sounding, but if it's not going to scratch, when you put this on there, you may hear something that first time, but you go back over it the second time, it should sound smooth. Like, you know that it's coming off and now it's smooth glass and you won't hear much at all. Make sure your blades are brand new when you do that. But what's going on when that fiber is on that glass and it's baked on there and you go over it, it's not coming off and you can hear it. This metal going right over top, it's scratching. I used to use the Unger razor blades when I first started. That scratched a lot. Of course, the window manufacturers probably did not as good as job as they do now in making the glass. I think it's getting better because I don't notice them as much. Plus, some of the home builders that I clean for, they have the film that they put on there to keep the concrete and stuff off, and that's awful nice. You just peel that off. There's maybe like 1/8 of an inch or so all the way around, 1/4 of an inch all the way around the glass that you kind of have to pay attention to. But this thing I use a lot on almost every job that I have. You just have to be very careful, and if you're going to train your employees on it, make sure they know what they're doing. But you have to test each glass. I'll go on a job site and I'll start testing on a few, almost 80% of the glass, just to see. There probably would be a good technique or a good way to do it for new guys is to go through yourself and maybe mark it. Here lately, I have been taking markers that are water, you can clean them off, ones you give your kids. So I'll take a red or an orange one and I'll mark, I'll circle spots. If I'm on by myself on a construction site and I'm doing office windows, the big floor to ceiling, they got the silicone in the middle. Oftentimes these guys put their fingerprints all over that window. And if I'm on one side, you can see some of the spots that are on there, but by the time you get back over there, you forget, or you have to walk back and forth. It takes forever. So what I'll do is I'll clean one side fairly good, and then on the other side, when I get back to the other side, I can see what I've left on that side, and I'll circle it. And I have 2 different colors, one in this color on this side, one color on the other side. That way I know all right, now I need to go up there and get it. And once you're done with that, you do that whole side and you erase all those markers, and then the other side you do the same thing. It saves you a little bit of time, but yes, you do have to go back and take those marks off. And oftentimes you can just take a wet rag and then buff it with your buff towel. So, but anyways, that's the Triumph's razor, and it comes with a cap. I tend to hate using the cap because it takes so much time to pop it off. It is a safety feature, and I should say kids don't try this at home, but I've made my own. Let me grab. So this is my tool belt right here. Here's my extra razors I keep with me. Make sure you get the stainless steel ones. They're more expensive, but they don't rust. At least that quick. Actually, I have another one in here. So what I do, what I've done, here it is right here, and I put this in here. When I used to do this before, I used to tear up my bag a lot. But I've got this, it's a wider tool belt. I didn't want this tool belt at first, but I fell in love with it, so now I use it. So I went and grabbed, and this is dirty as heck. Clean this off a little bit. I throw a lot of my dirt. I just got done with a big construction job, so. But I went and got, what was this for? For siding or something at Home Depot. But it's just a plastic thing, and I just cut it to where it fits in here, and that way that razor just sits right in that plastic, and I can put it in there without tearing up my bag. So, but that's what I use to put that in there, and I've got my extra. I've got my steel wool and my magic eraser and all my other tools that I'll be going over soon. But that's it for the Triumph razor. Again, if you got any questions or comments, there it is. If you like it, hit me up, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll be going through all my tools and my journey. If you notice, I do have a journey going on, building my business and hiring people and so forth. So hope to see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.